Please welcome the kids in the hall.
How come on the teleprompter it said fake applause?
Well, normally we don't have to do that, but we told them.
You brought it in tonight.
Touche!
Nice to see you.
Touche!
Well
Nice
played.
to see you, fellas. Thanks for coming.
Now it says blanked.
Because now it's all off the cuff. Now it's just
all
a conversation.
all right.
That's what we do. This is the part where we talk.
You were going to go blank and just stare at us for the next 20 minutes.
Often that happens, Dave. Often that happens.
I've done that to you.
No, you've actually
Just
been good.
stared at you.
Oh, we'll come back and talk to him. You guys have done reunions and you've done performances since the television show went away. But how do you've got a new TV series?
You've done television shows. Okay. You've done performances.
Normally, Mr. McDonald has an ear horn.
Okay.
Normally, Mr. McDonald has an ear
A
horn.
new TV series. How'd you get to here to be at this place?
Well, I think the short answer is we didn't want to be the Beach Boys. As much as
Don't
we...
smile. That sounds are two brilliant albums.
They really are.
But I mean what the Beach Boys became, which is...
There are music nerds all across the country going, oh!
Another reason I hate McCullough, first the Doors, now the Beach Boys. Is, you know, that we've sustained ourselves as an entity by touring for the last 10 years. And, you know, the last tour was really fun because we wrote a bunch of new material. But we didn't want to be just known for the Head Crusher and Chicken Lady and any other Mark characters.
Characters, yeah.
Don't touch my chicken.
So we wanted to lay down something and put it back into culture, and that's what we did.
That's right.
Well, it's a challenging thing, right? When you're trying to find another way to play with the same characters that you've worked with and add some new ones. Was it an easy process to get to this television show?
Yes, actually.
It really was. It started out we were talking after we'd done some writing of new stuff, we realized we still liked writing together. So we were talking about ideas for films, and one of the ideas was The Death Comes to Town, which these three, I believe, took and started working on, and it expanded in their minds to a miniseries.
In our minds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In our minds.
Hey, there are parts of this, I watched the first 2 episodes, and there are parts where I thought, I wonder if they were stoned when they wrote that scene.
Actually, sadly, no.
Sadly, no.
Just get up at early in the morning.
We're stoned now.
Yeah. Two of us loved the drugs in the old days.
Dave, please, Dave.
And some of us liked their liquor.
Some of us like to mix.
They wouldn't have a picture of my liver. There's no way they could get that. No way.
Let's go to a picture of his liver right now. There it is right there.
Wow, that is an X-ray.
But where did this idea come from? Because the idea of a murder in a small town and all the characters that play a role, and that's a classic story. It's an Agatha Christie, but it's done this way. How did you get to the story?
It's from an old Stephen Leacock story, I think.
It's called Death Comes to Town, and it was an 8-part miniseries on the CBC in the early 40s, starring Tommy Hunter. No, it was actually an image I had, which was Death gets off a Greyhound bus in a small, weird town, and what happens? And, you know, as a writing engine, that seemed really interesting to us. Why was Death there? Who is going to die? What happens while he's in town? And, you know, it didn't write itself.
And
but
why didn't he fly in?
Right.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Maybe he's deaf. He can afford to fly, right?
Sure, or he could just appear, which is another thought.
Yes.
But the
A lot of air miles.
He does care.
what happened to your voice? What happened to his voice?
Oh, can I explain?
Yeah.
Oh. Kevin is, Scott is preparing for his one-man show, B. Arthur, The Final Days. So he insists on staying in character.
And Betty White and I, the other night, we were on all night, chatting.
Go.
I lost my voice.
Okay, all right. I'll accept that story, even though I don't believe it. I'll accept it. The other thing about this is that since Kids in the Hall, the TV show, the original one, has been off the air, you guys have all gone to do other things in television, and you picked up different experiences, and you've worked on different projects. When you bring them back into the room, you're not the same guys that wrote on Kids in the Hall. You have all these TV experiences. What was that like? Because you've written television shows. You guys have written television shows and been on them. What was that like trying to get this show to work with this dynamic?
Well, the dynamic's kind of the same. I mean, it's still in a way like we're still kind of 20, and the arguments are there. It's just like that old comics joke, you know. Instead of having the full argument, we just say number 17. You know.
And you know which fight to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 14.
Yeah. Well, 12.
Oh my God, not
2
12.
times 12. 12 in your ass.
No, you really were asking for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm 14.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right at 12. No, you know, we all had sort of different kinds of experiences. The fun thing was just coming back with, like, you know, better muscles, but it was really the same
By
dynamic.
that he means comedy muscles.
Comedy
So
muscles.
Clearly.
Kegel muscles.
Not Kegel muscles?
Yeah, no. The physical muscles.
We don't take steroids, George. We work out for
don't
them.
take
Stop.
Stop it! We don't take steroids. We work out.
Yeah.
And that's the only comic body we can show. The others will actually frighten the children.
Your character had to wear a fat suit in this TV series, a very big one, too.
Actually, he's wearing a thin suit now.
It's very tight.
How much
Send it back.
how much was scripted? How much was improv? Was any of this improv? In the way Curb Your Enthusiasm is a general idea and then they go with it?
Well,
No.
I think, you know, because it's a miniseries, it's, you know, and we are no Agatha Christie's, you know, but there are integral parts, so you have to get from here to here, so you can't just fly off the handle. It was essentially all scripted, and we always play, and we always rewrite on the set, and we always beat the material up in rehearsal, or when someone like myself brings it in, and then Mark doesn't like it, or just whatever. I mean, that was just a name that came off the top of my head. But no, it wasn't like we were out there improvising,
Right.
essentially. But
Yeah.
we keep it alive.
Yeah, and we hate improv.
I mean,
No, not all of us hate it. Number's 3. Number 3.
42A, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 42A.
The other thing I wondered from your perspective was on the eve of the release, in that, especially in the last decade, doing the Kids in the Hall stuff and going on the road, and I've been lucky enough to see you guys perform live, and the ovation you get. People know they know what they're going to get from you. They don't know all the jokes, but they know the format. When you're releasing something that's a TV series, that's a scripted TV series, what's the anxiety level like individually or in the group? Because it is a different offering to the audience.
I think we aren't smart enough to have thought about that yet. Until,
Now I'm very scared.
Now that you say it, it's kind of crippling.
I was kind of excited about tomorrow.
It is scary.
It's the kind of gamble, though, because we've you know, done and been a troupe for so long. It's just kind of like, well, okay, we're going to take a shot at it, and it has its inherent risk. But we're not like 20 years old, and our careers aren't riding on this one.
Right.
The end of our careers might be, but our careers aren't. So it was just kind of fun, and it was fun to beat out a long form story and play characters that had through lines and stuff like that.
This was not an easy TV series for you to shoot.
No, not really. This is truly nothing to do with cancer. Nothing to do with the big C. Nothing to do with the big C.
But you had cancer.
I had cancer, yeah.
And it was something, I mean, a remarkable job keeping it quiet. Like, very few people knew about this, but you were shooting...
Oh, I told everybody. Nobody cares in Canada.
We just can't get any
People
press.
really, I told everybody.
Yeah.
He had one day where he was going to like actually keep it low, and I can't tell anyone. And then the next day is like, tell Mike Myers that he can send me flowers.
Get Lorne Michaels on the phone. I think he needs to know.
I'm curious how you told these guys.
Mark told me.
I told, and it was Kevin and Bruce, I told first because we were the ones beating out the story in Los
It
Angeles.
actually came in the beginning of the writing process where we were breaking the story, and Scott had been getting a bit sick and a bit weirder than normal. And so he started to get...
First sign of
So we knew that
cancer.
there was some health issue going on, and then, yeah, it came later that it was that.
And so, yeah, I told them.
You called me
Yeah,
on the phone,
there were
and I was
tears.
feeding the cats, and after a while I realized I better stop feeding the cats and pay respect to what you were saying.
Yeah, it was...
Kevin came back to us and said, so, cancer.
Go on.
Go on.
So, yeah, so it was right after the first process when we were beating the story up, and then I got sick in March, and then I had to kind of be thrown overboard for a while while we continued working. And my only, you know, it was definitely difficult, but the thing about the series was that the whole time I was going through chemotherapy, all I was looking forward to was being with these jack-offs.
Well, and also I think it was doubly hard for Scott in a sense because it was death comes to town.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, and
Absolutely, right?
A little difficult, Bruce.
Yeah.
And then there were times when I blamed Bruce for that.
For the cancer?
Why the hell did you have to make it about death, McCullough?
And all of Scott's characters die.
Hey, spoiler alert!
no, at one point they did. We changed that because Scott wanted some modification to the script.
I did. I said
Yeah.
they can't all die, and they don't all die.
No,
But,
I made
But
that
after
up.
25 years of arriving on set without his lines memorized, he finally had a good excuse.
And ironically, he's never been better. He's never been a stronger performer than he is in this show.
Yeah.
You'll see.
So I guess they were saying all the kids out there who want a career in comedy, cancer. Don't wait around for it.
Yeah, it's not about the internet. Get
Yeah.
cancer.
Oh, man.
But it was for me.
That's not dark.
No. In some ways, it was the most difficult, but it was also in some ways easy because all I had to do was be funny.
Right.
So that's all I did, and that's all I concentrated on. That's the only energy I had was to be
But
funny.
you
on
went to
camera.
work when you were going through the treatment. What was the process like? What was, did things change a little bit on the set?
Well, I was going through chemotherapy during the writing process in the summer, and that changed things a lot because I was writing a lot from a mattress on the floor.
Yeah, I heard there was a mattress in there where if you were too tired, you'd go lay down.
And I mean, I really wasn't writing. I'd occasionally yell out and go, I don't like that idea. I need more medical marijuana.
And if somebody else came into the writing session, say a little hungover and wanted to sleep on the mattress, somebody got all
hogging it?
pissy.
So cancer doesn't cure selfishness. But, you know, so for me, it was like the light that I kept in my head was, you know, got to get through the chemo, then I'll have 7 weeks, 8 weeks of light, and then I'm back into the darkness with the radiation. And then that'll end, and then I'm back here. And then I'm going, George, I'm going to be on the hour. I've got to get ready for the hour. And so in some ways...
Oh, don't, he's bullshitting. All right?
Bullshitting.
And you're well now? You're all right?
Very well.
You all right?
Except for the throat.
Except for the throat. Cancer-free. I've lost my voice because I had a nightmare about being strangled.
There you go. The series is called Death Comes to Town. I've seen the first 2 episodes. If it's any indication, they're great. I mean, they're really interesting. And you know what? What I like about it is that you went all the way. Like, in Canadian television, the knock has always been that it only goes to a certain place, but you guys go all the way. You played Death, and you are wearing the most awesome / disgusting outfit.
It is the bravest,
It is the bravest performance of your career. This codpiece.
It's amazing.
But the vest.
Beginning to realize that. Yeah.
But the vest. I mean, this vest. Where did you get that?
The vest was this fantastic find. I think Wendy, our old Kids on the Wardrobe, they fished it out of wardrobe. It actually belonged to the Friendly Giant.
Yeah.
It's the Friendly Giant's vest.
So you're wearing the front. Oh man.
And the cod piece belonged to Wendy Mesley.
That joke bombed more than his get cancer joke.
I thought that was an excellent joke.
You got to check it out. It's tomorrow night. You can catch it at 9 o'clock right here on CBC Television. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.